What's up, guys? Welcome back to NBA Therapy. These are NBA therapists. Shabz, what up? Oh no, I'm
Yo, what's up?
Shabz.
It's Nilay.
That's Nilay.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, what's
Let's
going
get-
on? How are you doing, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. You've been enjoying the playoffs so far?
Sort of, not really.
Yeah. Oh, really? You haven't been? Well, the West is really fun.
It just sucks because I was rooting for the Lakers. The Lakers lost.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
rooting
yeah,
for Denver lost. And
Mm.
it's not like they lost like badly, you know. They lost like they kind of threw the game.
So
And I
let's.
was so disappointed. I was like so disappointed. I'm like at one moment I'm checking they're like 20 points up, and then the next moment I see it's like even. I was like, what's happening? But
Yeah. So let's jump right into it. I guess we'll just jump right into that. We'll start with the Denver Minnesota series, and the question I wanted to ask you was, did Minnesota win that series, or did Denver give it up? And you've kind of answered that, but
I think
if you want to elaborate on that.
through the series because it was all about the role players. Like if the role players played like this against the Lakers, they would have lost too.
Yeah.
Like Michael Porter Jr., he did not make a 3-2 for like anything. Aaron Gordon was, I think, good for like 1 or 2 games, but not really throughout this whole series. So I don't feel like any of the role players stepped up. Jamal barely played good as well. Like he played good a few games, but like the only consistent player was the Joker, and they didn't have a deep enough roster to handle Minnesota.
All right.
I mean, credit to Minnesota too because they have a deep roster, and that's what they build this team right for the Nuggets, and it paid off, right? It paid off.
Yep.
And they kind of embarrassed the Nuggets, right? Like to come back from 20 points and then to beat them one game 40 points, like it
I think it was the biggest comeback deficit in like a game 7.
Game 7, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty embarrassing, and they had an embarrassing game 6.
Oh,
like everything after game 5 was so good for the Nuggets, like coming down from 0-2 to make it 3-2.
Yeah.
And then they just
and the 2 games that they won after they were down 0-2, they were looking like, oh, okay, they're back, you know? Like Joker was going off, and it's like, holy shit, okay, that's the MVP. That's the best player in the league. He could be top 10, top 12 player, whatever. And then, 3 games they won in a row, and I think they maybe took their foot off the gas. And like, I mean, I agree with you that like Denver threw that game, but we also have to give, like you did, Minnesota all the credit in the world, because I mean, 7-game series, how it came down to it, like I think the better team won at the end of the day, you know. I don't think Denver had a good bench. I don't think they had good depth, and I don't think they were able to handle the adversity that Minnesota. Like last year, they just ran through the playoffs. They didn't have to play. Like even though they played Minnesota, they didn't play. I mean, they had just gotten rid of D'Lo and gotten Mike Conley. Jaden McDaniels wasn't in that series. Nas Reed wasn't in that series. So Rudy Gobert, it was his first year. You know, he was having his chemistry issues punching Kyle Anderson and all that stuff. So I don't think they were ready. And I don't think Anthony Edwards was fully where he is right now. And I think Mike Conley...
You also have to see like the role players on the Nuggets didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like I think 5 or 6 out of the 7 games, they were completely kind of like useless, you know, for like at this level.
But you give that to the Minnesota defense?
I mean, honestly, if you miss wide open shots, I don't think there's anything to do with defense, right? Like they were double teaming the Joker, right? They were double teaming Joker, and what can you do when you get double teamed? You have to pass the ball, but when you pass the ball, the other person has to make the shot, like wide open shot.
Especially someone who's looking like prime Klay Thompson in the series before.
Like Michael Porter Jr. missed so many open threes. And I'm like, where was he when they were playing the Lakers?
Right,
exactly. The Lakers, he hit like every shot,
every single shot. He was coming off of like 2 screens, and then just literally. It was literally the play they used to run for Klay Thompson when they had Kevin Durant on the team, or Ray Allen when he was on the Celtics. I still remember those days, and I was like, "Damn, dude!" But I always said like a guy who's 6'10", who can knock down threes like that. I think he's doing himself a disservice only playing like that, because there's going to be times where you're going to miss threes, and if you're 6'10", you have an advantage that like you can. Yeah, exactly. You should be able to drive, and it's someone like Michael Porter Jr., who has the skill to dribble and shoot really well, like almost like a KD. I mean, I'm not comparing him to KD, but he has that skill at 6'10". He's taller than Aaron Gordon. It doesn't look like that, but he's actually taller than Aaron Gordon. And he's only hanging around the perimeter. If he gets a wide open 3, he'll like maybe take at the most, he'll take 1 step in and try to hit a jumper. And at that time he's like two in his own head when he's missed that many shots. But it's like just drive in, just post up a little bit, do something different. If you play like just one dimensionally throughout, obviously when shit's not like when it's a make or miss league, they always say that it's a cliche. But if you don't add some kind of diversity to your game, this is what's going to happen.
Exactly. Even despite like the role players playing so bad, it was still super close, and they kind of still threw the game. Like when
that
you
was
20, that was embarrassing. Like
that was embarrassing.
I was so disappointed. Like I was like, okay, I don't mind it being a close game, but it shouldn't be like where you're up 20 and then you lose the whole series, because that's just demotivating. And you could tell they were demotivated at the end. They stopped caring.
And that's the thing, like where the first two games where we were talking about how it's like, can't Jamal Murray and all these guys handle adversity? Because they've been rolling throughout since last year, all the way regular season, they were just rolling. And, they were like down 20 points, like Lakers led 70% of the series, and they came back and mollywopped them every single game. So in their mind, they're just like, and that's the problem even with Jamal Murray, where he's such a great bad shot maker. But then what happens when those shots don't hit? What are you going to do then, And Jamal Murray had like 20 points in the first half, and then he was like 4 for 10 or 4 for 15. So at the end, he had like 35, but in the second half, he completely vanished. And I don't know if it's Anthony Edwards' defense. I mean, I give a lot of credit to that as well, but I just think Jamal Murray, this both series, he just hasn't been himself like he was last year. He averaged like 19 in the Lakers series. He just made some big shots. And if those shots don't go on, Lakers might be up 2-0. Or like at least give it,
Same thing applies to Michael Porter Jr. If he doesn't shoot his threes, the Lakers would have been up. And you never know once up like how the series can go based on the mentality of the team, right? So it's just sad to see that. I would have much preferred if they were going to play like this, just let Lakers at least play. I think they could give them a fair shot.
Yeah,
to be honest.
And this is the thing we even talked about. Like, do we want Denver in the first round? And we're like, why not? Because they're obviously going to make it to the conference finals. You'd rather have them first rather than conference finals. But I mean, it is what it is, well, it's sad for you because you picked the Nuggets, and I was like halfway through that first quarter, I was like, oh no, Nilay's gonna roast me on the pod. I had picked the Nuggets, and then I flip-flopped to the Wolves, and I was like, oh no, Nilay's gonna be like, dude, you had it, and you fucking you became a coward and you picked the T-Wolves, like you doubted the Nuggets, and this is what happens. And then I was like, oh yeah, I was like, there you go, Anthony.
I mean, I won't lie, I was partly disappointed because I was like, God damn it, now Rishabh, right?
Exactly, I'm gonna roast you. And that's with actually one thing we didn't even mention is that Anthony Edwards had a terrible game. He had a shitty, like he had the Kobe Game 7 in 2010 finals, 6 for 24, exact same stat line. But
rebounded pretty much,
other people stepped up on their team. Karl-Anthony Towns, a guy I've never had faith in. I don't like his personality, but he stepped up, and all their other guys stepped up, and they won that game. And so that was McDaniels is huge for them, dude. That's the guy they missed. I actually think if they had McDaniels last year, I don't think they would have. I don't think Lakers would have been able to beat them in the play-in. Of course, because McDaniels would have like done some kind of.
He's a solid player.
He's a really good player. He's a really great defender, and if his shots start going down, it's hard to stop them. But so. You had Nuggets going 4-3. I had Wolves going 4-3. So I check mark on that. I'll put the predictions here. Can you see it? Right here or here? No, here. There we go. There's the predictions. Okay. And so
let's go to the other one. Dallas.
Let's go to the other one.
Dallas OKC.
Dallas OKC. Oh yeah. So you had. I'm just trying to remember because I don't have. Yeah, you had OKC 4-3, I think, right? And I had Mavs 4-2. So check mark on that for me as well.
Yeah.
I am rolling,
there's not much
dude.
to say there. I feel like OKC just didn't play good, honestly.
Right.
They just didn't play good. I think they were outmatched. You're right. I think that series there was a clear better team. It wasn't even it was like a clear better team.
Yeah.
The Mavs were way better, and they deserved to go through.
Yeah. And all the doubts that we had for OKC being too young and being too inexperienced were valid. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Even though this is weird because SGA and Luka. SGA is actually older than Luka. I didn't realize that for a long time.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's
Luka's
like a couple of.
Right?
like they're both 25, but SGA is like 100 or 200 days older. So he's
Oh,
almost
okay.
like a year older, which is like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
So I guess like, but I mean,
Yeah,
they're
Luka's young. Luka's pretty
exactly,
young.
dude. He's just been rolling for so long that, and he seems like an older guy because he's not fit. So he
Yeah.
always just seems like like he's
Yeah,
like 30 or something.
exactly.
But yeah,
But yeah,
so
he played well. Kyrie played well. Like the Max just played good all around that series.
well, Luka didn't play well the first couple of games, but the last two games
He
he
picked
got
it
his
up.
shit
Yeah,
together. Yeah, he stopped
exactly.
complaining to the refs. He stopped
Yeah,
like acting like. I think he was doing a little too much of, even if he's hurt. I think he was trying too hard to show everyone that, oh, look at
yeah,
me, I'm hurt. So if you don't win, like, oh, look at me, I'm
yeah,
playing hurt. And I think that gets into that gets into players' heads where they
for
start
sure.
looking for excuses rather than saying like, no, 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 I'm not hurt. I'm just gonna play through. And you saw in the last two games, he wasn't complaining to the refs, and you didn't see him like grab his knee or do anything even once, like wince or anything. And yeah, they roll
Yeah,
through.
exactly.
Kyrie didn't play all that well that series. I was surprised. He hit some big
I think he
shots
was
later on,
defending right. Like
but yeah,
he was good on the defensive side, which
right.
was it's like what was needed. So
Yeah, and all the other dirty work, like diving on the floor, all that stuff. Like he really showed leadership like qualities, and I was really
yeah,
impressed with. He just had a
yeah,
weird
like he
strategy where he was
definitely
like
carried
averaging like
around.
6 points the first half, and then he would go
Yeah,
on and have like 20 in the second. But you can't play catch up like. So yeah,
all the time.
so that's 2 for 2 for me.
Yeah.
That's for the West. And let's go. We're who was in the East? Okay, so you want to go
Boston,
Boston and Cleveland?
yeah.
Yeah, that's whatever. Like that
That
was
was
like,
like everybody knew Boston's
yeah,
winning that. Like,
you
I
know,
would
we
think that was yeah.
yeah we
And
both
like
picked Boston. You had Boston 4-2. I had Boston 4-3.
yeah.
So you got that one. Even though I had
And
the yeah. But the only thing
yeah.
with that is like the only reason I said 4-3 instead of 4-2 was because my argument was that Donovan Mitchell can win a game maybe by himself because he can go
Yeah.
off,
And he
but then
didn't do
Donovan
it.
Mitchell got hurt.
Yeah.
So I kind of get like an excuse for that. Like it's not like you know, but still, yeah.
I mean, at the end, Boston won, so it's
Yeah,
like
exactly. Everybody knew that that's what's going to
yeah,
happen, and one of the most boring series, to be honest.
exactly.
I've been kind of disappointed in the Cavs this whole season. I thought they would take a leap. I was really
Yeah,
hoping for Mobley to. He looked like he was on a trajectory to be like that third, or
player.
two B kind of player. Where he would really step it up, and they were just in and out of the lineup. I don't think the Garland and Mitchell pairing is great. I never was a big fan of that from the beginning. I think Garland
Yeah,
needs to be the sole ball handler. And I think whenever Mitchell's on the floor, Garland's just too deferential. Like he's like, oh no, I'll just play point guard and pass it to you. And if Donovan Mitchell isn't going off, then like Garland is almost like you don't even know what he's up to on the court.
yeah.
So yeah, I think they need to change that. I would love Darius Garland on the Lakers, to be honest. I love that player. I think by himself as a
I
point
think
guard,
that's
he's
very
great.
tough, right, between the Cavs and Lakers.
Well, they're trying to get Mitchell, but I actually would prefer what's his name, Garland, with some other depth. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I love Darius. I
Yeah.
love that. But anyway, so
So the next series,
next was
Pacers.
Knicks and
That was
Pacers
a good series till the end, but
till the
it's
end.
so sad for the Knicks, dude. They
I
had
know.
like 4 people on the roster. They don't even have a full team at that point.
That's what I was saying. I was like, the only reason I wanted to pick the Pacers was like, I was like, Knicks are going off, but then I'm like, how many players are going to be left? Like, OG is out, everybody's out. Jalen Brunson's like leaving for a full quarter and like trying to play, and it caught up to them, man.
He caught up to him. He broke his
OG
hand.
played like 6 minutes, and then he was back on the bench for the
Yeah.
whole game. And I think Brunson was. I think he was just fatigued. I was watching that game live with a friend of mine who's a proper Knicks fan. Like he was born in New York and he's been a Knicks fan his whole. And he was like so excited, right? He's like, dude, Game 7, we're gonna watch it. It's at a time that we can watch it live. So I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. And I felt so bad because I was rooting for the Pacers because they were my pick. And in my mind, it was like, oh, we're going to go at each other. It's going to be a great game. We're going to trash talk each other throughout the game. And like halfway through the first half, I was just like, I felt so bad for my friend. He was like so like sad. And I was like, dude, I'm actually rooting for the Knicks, like I just picked the Pacers. But like I actually hoped like I was feeling so bad. Like I was just like, this is so like Pacers had the best fucking offense in playoff history. How's that even
Yeah.
possible? Like you can't even if
I mean,
Knicks
they didn't
played
have a
really well.
roster, right? Like at one point, the coach would have probably come and played.
Yeah, exactly.
What was happening
But
at
even
one
then,
point?
like, dude, Pacers were making shots. Like, even if you had good defense on them, like, that's like one of those miraculous lucky games where
Yeah.
if a team like the Pacers, where you don't have super duper stars and it's all like
Yeah.
young players, and they have like the best offense in playoff history, all history, like not just like this playoffs or something,
This
all of
playoffs,
history.
yeah.
It's like you can't really do anything about that. And on top of that, when like Jalen Brunson doesn't have a good game, DiVincenzo went off. Alec Burks went off, but it wasn't enough. They needed Brunson scoring, and yeah, they did the right thing by like. I think they just the problem with the Knicks was that Brunson was bringing the ball up every single time. He was being face guarded the full court, and I was just like, dude, just let someone else bring the ball up. You're clearly getting tired by the time you get to the half court. Like let someone else bring the ball up. It's the same thing that I said for the Nuggets, where and they used that adjustment actually, which won them a couple of games. Where I'm like, don't let Jokic or Jamal Murray bring the ball up because they're face guarding you full court. So by the time you get to that, you're so tired to even run a play. So they started having Aaron Gordon bring the ball up, and that frees up Jokic and Murray to just be a little more refreshed and not expend so much energy. But Jalen Brunson just kept doing it, and that's what happened every time. By the time he got to the half court, he would just back down, and force up a shot that he just wasn't hitting it. And then he got hurt. And I forgot that he got hurt in the middle of the game too. He had a fractured hand.
Yeah, he got a fractured.
It's like, what the hell? Like at some point, we're gonna have to look at the coach and just be like,
I
yo,
mean, the
man.
Knicks have huge potential moving forward, right? Like,
right.
If everybody's healthy, they're like one team. Like, if everybody's healthy, who can be up there with Boston and make the Eastern Conference a bit more exciting. Because as a viewer, Eastern Conference really isn't appealing to most people just because it's so one-sided and there's not really that much competition in that conference.
Well, also because all the stars were hurt.
Yeah.
Giannis, Dame, Embiid, and yeah, and the Knicks, they need to trade Randall for a better star. I mean, everybody's talking about KD or Paul George. I don't know if this.
I wouldn't want Paul George. I'd much want KD.
I agree because I just don't think they fit that, because now they've built a culture which like hard grit and grind, like, and they're all like, they went to the same college, they were like roommates in college, so they've built like that chemistry where if you bring a random star that they feel like they would have to defer to, I would love for them to bring in like someone like Mikal Bridges. I think that would be the best fit for them and for their team. And yeah, I think going forward, if they can just keep playing, if Tom Thibodeau can like chill out a little bit and like slow down on like using them 48 minutes every game, maybe, who knows, and they make a couple of moves here and there. I think they're really good. OG is really good for them, and yeah, going forward next season, I told my friend, I was like, don't be sad, dude, like, you have a bright future. It's not like the Lakers where it's like, you don't know, like LeBron might retire soon.
Yeah, Lakers are pretty screwed.
Yeah, exactly. But so you had
Knicks, the next round.
But you had Knicks 4-3. I had Pacers 4-3.
Yeah, 4-3.
So I got to check on that too. I'm 4 for 4, dude. I'm 4 for 4. I definitely should have bet some money on this. Like, fuck the stocks. I could have made some money on the side, this waiting for the podcast to blow up. I could have made some money on the side. and I predicted Pacers to be my sleeper team in the first week of March, okay? I definitely should get credit for this. I really wish some people are watching this podcast so that I could like look cool. But it's just between you and me, I guess.
Next time we'll bet something on it.
Yeah, exactly. I bet 500 rupees with my friend, and he was like too sad, and I was like, dude, you don't have to pay me. It's okay. For the Knicks and Pacers. But yeah, man, that was second round. It was kind of fun. The West was fun. East was trash. And yeah, so now we're in the conference final, man. We got two teams. You want to make some predictions now for Boston?
Yeah,
and
conference. It's Celtics, Pacers, and I think Celtics are going to beat them.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with the Pacers.
Oh, you're going to pick the Pacers?
Yeah, why not, man? I've been rolling with the Pacers since March. I might as well go all the way with them. I don't like the Celtics. But yeah, sorry, go on. You were saying.
I think Celtics are going to beat them 4-2.
4-2? Holy shit! Okay.
Yeah.
Did you watch yesterday's game?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Right. And the reason why I chose the Celtics is because I saw yesterday's game. Because I think everything was wrong for the Celtics. And despite that, they still ended up winning. And I felt like Jaylen Brown hit that miraculous shot at the end. And that kind of saved them the game.
Right, yeah.
And,
that did save the game.
Yeah, and they kept turning the ball over when they were up instead of just like being a bit more careful, you know. But
Inexperience.
exactly, and I feel like if you cannot win a game where everything goes right for you, then I just feel like
Mm,
a couple games you're going to get the Celtics playing better, and
right.
that's going to make them three. That's going to get them 3 games, and then one game could be close. I just feel the Celtics are going to close them 4-2.
Right. Yeah, that's actually a really good point, dude. I didn't think of it from that point. I was actually thinking more from the point of view of like, oh, it's game one on Boston. Boston's the best team, and Pacers are coming in. And if I'm in the Pacers mindset, I'm just thinking like, yo, man, we had that game. We just fumbled it a little bit. If we just keep our shit together, we could beat them. Because Jason Tatum, his biggest problems has always question mark has been in the clutch. And yeah, he showed up in overtime, but like before that, he missed a couple of threes to go up. He missed a couple of jumpers to go up. And even though like he's been the leading scorer, I checked the stat where he's been the leading scorer on the Celtics all throughout these playoffs. But funnily enough, he has the worst field goal percentage and the worst 3-point percentage in the whole team. The whole team. Even the bench players have like he has like 42% or something like that from the field goal. As his field goal percentage, and that's like, dude, that's so bad. Like, and you're only averaging like two more points than Jaylen Brown, who's hitting 50%. So
Jaylen Brown is definitely the MVP of the team right now.
Yeah, for sure. He's been defending really well. He's been,
he put them up 1-0. Like that shot he made,
exactly,
was pretty insane. Yeah,
that was insane. If he doesn't hit that, they're done. And Pacers, if they steal a game on the road, that's going to be tough. I'll have to go 4-3. I don't think they're beating them 4-2.
You need the game now.
Yeah, exactly. It has to get down to game 7, and then it's a 1-game situation where it's like, who knows what happens, Shit goes here, shit goes there. Maybe Pacers have another greatest offensive playoff history moment. And, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. So 4-3
Let's go
Pacers.
to the other side.
Oh.
Did you see the game?
No, so don't tell me what happened, because I've only seen almost the first half. I didn't get to finish the first half, but it seemed really close, man.
But did you see the final score?
No. So don't tell me what happens. Okay. Yeah. So I'm still pretty much fresh in before.
Okay. Okay. So, but what do you think though, based on what you saw?
Okay. So even before I watched the game, I'm in a bit of a conundrum where it's like I made a prediction where I said that the winner of Nuggets and Wolves will go on to win the championship. But then I've also been rolling with Luka and the Mavs. So I realized, I was like, oh shit, what do I pick now?
All right, I'll pick then. Let me
No. Yeah. Okay. You go.
I'm going to pick the Mavs here.
Oh, no. I was going to pick the Mavs too.
I'm going to pick the Mavs here just purely because I feel, like I said, the previous series, I feel that Nuggets lost it and the Minnesota Timberwolves didn't really beat them. I feel like the Nuggets really lost it. And I feel like they were built, even despite that, they were built mainly to focus onto the Nuggets. So I feel like that advantage isn't there moving forward against teams like who have like a good ball handler like Luka and Kyrie.
Kyrie.
You could Jamal is good, but he's no Luka, he's no Kyrie, and you're not gonna lock both of them down.
Right.
And I feel like they are gonna definitely exploit the Minnesota and beat them. I feel so.
Really?
Yeah.
So
and I think it's gonna be 4-3 Mavs.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna go 4-3 Mavs as well, but for some of the same reasons that you mentioned. But like I was actually thinking like the problem that the Mavs have is that they're like when you go depth for depth. I think Minnesota depth is like insane, dude, when you compare them, and especially like if Karl Anthony Towns can like really exploit and Naz Reid can really exploit their front court. Like they only have Gafford and Derek Lively. And Gafford isn't all that tall, and Lively is a rookie, and he's skinny. So it's like, and they have like 4 guys in their front court. They have Gobert, they have Towns, they have Naz Reid, and Kyle Anderson, who's 6'9", who's like pretty much same height as Gafford. So I think that's the thing, and I think like they do have really good perimeter defenders in Edwards and McDaniels, and you add on to that with Alexander Walker. And they can like go off as well offensively. I just don't think Mavs have a great bench. Like they have players you can play, but they're not as impactful as the players on the Wolves bench. But like you said, like Jamal Murray is not on the same level as Kyrie and Luka, and I've been so impressed with Kyrie, man. Like his leadership, the way, and I think it's maybe he just saved himself all the way throughout the playoffs to be really like locked in for the conference finals. Because he was going off. His biggest problem that I had was that he doesn't play well. Like, he doesn't even shoot in the first half, and then he only scores in the second half.
Yeah, he's not aggressive. But
he was more like passing and like, I'll grab boards and this and that, where everybody's like, no, dude, you're the best scorer in a way, even if you maybe a one-on-one scorer. And he went off. Like, I just saw the first half, he had like 20 points already by the end of the half. So I think that's amazing. And I just don't know if but yeah, so I'm gonna go 4-3 as well for just for those reasons. And I think like Edwards might have some inconsistent games just because of his age. Like, he's just too young right now. He could go for 40 and then the next game he could go for 12. And if any of that happens,
he's too inconsistent right now. He has lack of experience. But he's gonna become really good. But he's
yeah, exactly. I think just by next year, I think he'll be one of those guys where if he has a bad game, you'll be shocked. He'll be on that level. But now, if he has a bad game, I in my mind, it's like, oh yeah, but he's only 22. This is his first year where he's really popping off. Karl Anthony Towns, I don't fully trust him. I think he can play really well one game, and he himself is very inconsistent. And I hate his personality. I think he's a front runner. I think he's quite juvenile when he's like not losing. I mean, when he's not winning, and he starts like doing all that stupid shit with like limping off the floor after the game, and I just don't. And then if he's like, he makes a couple of shots and he starts like yelling and like laughing, and it's like, dude, chill out. Like, you haven't done anything in the league. You've been in the league for like 8 years. You haven't done shit. Here comes a 22-year-old who's doing everything you should have done. Like, you were that skilled and talented, and now you want to laugh and talk and all that. Sorry, I'm just venting about Karl Anthony Towns at this point. but yeah, those are the and I think just Luka and Kyrie both can exploit Rudy Gobert out on the perimeter, like on pick and rolls. I think that's going to be one of their biggest strengths when it comes to scoring. And
I just think overall, like, because Luka and Kyrie are so good, they're just gonna carry them over the Timberwolves.
Yeah. They just need one guy, whoever, like every game, they need just one other guy to be good offensively. Like, one game it can be PJ Washington, one game it can be Derek Lively, one game it can be Tim Hardaway. If they just get contribution from one other player to get like 19 to 20 points, I think they have a clear shot at winning the series and maybe even the finals.
Yeah.
I
mean, I think it's going to be good to see what happens. Like, it'll be so cool to see the Mavs versus the Celtics in the finals.
That'll be crazy.
That'll be pretty good.
That'll be a lot of fun.
And I feel like Celtics are a team that play to the level of the opposition. I don't think they're that dominant where they'll just like beat anybody. I think they play to the level of the opposition, and until they do not face a real challenge, I don't think we're going to see like their full potential.
Yeah, and I think it might be the same problem that the Nuggets faced in the first two games, where they've had a cakewalk this whole time. This whole season, they've been up by like, they've had the biggest point differential and game differential or something like that in the regular season, and throughout the playoffs, they've just played injured teams, and they haven't had that
easiest path, right? They've had the easiest path for finals. Yeah.
Exactly. So if whoever they meet, either the Wolves or Mavs, I think they're gonna have their hands full with their adversity. With how well they defend.
I think the West is more solid, and definitely.
And I think guys like Jason Tatum and all could get shook if it really gets down to that. You have like guys like in their face all the time, or like on the other team, like they're hitting shots after shots. I think it's gonna get to him, especially since now it's like Western Conference Finals, and Jason Tatum is literally like 40% still field goal percentage, the worst on his team, which is just not gonna fly. Yeah. But
that's our predictions for this
that's round. Our predictions. We reviewed our second round, and this is our thing for the conference finals. Let's see who wins. We're both rolling with Luka and the Mavs. Let's hope they get that. I think the question has been answered between Luka versus Jokic that we were hoping for. I think I won that battle between. I'll take that victory lap as well. Why not? Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right?
I think you should actually.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel so bad for him, man. Like, he has no help. Like, Joker, this last player of the series had no help practically.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
I feel like that just put him in a bad position.
You know? They need to strengthen their bench.
Yeah.
Oh,
if you got like little contribution from anybody else, you would have won.
Any kind of offensive contribution.
Exactly, and it was so close this series where it's not even that he needed help. He just needed people not to mess up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
That's all
Exactly.
they needed.
Exactly. I
And they
was
would have
just
won.
gonna say that.
They
Yeah,
would
I was
be
just
right
gonna
now
say
in the
yeah.
final.
I was just gonna say that where it was that photo of him just standing on the side of the bench after Game 6 was like
Oh,
that was the scariest I've ever seen Joker look, because he's always like,
yeah,
I don't
I've
care,
never
whatever,
seen him
it's
take basketball
basketball.
that seriously.
Yeah, and he was just like, pissed. He seemed embarrassed. He seemed like, for the first time, he seemed embarrassed in his life. Like, oh my God, we just dropped a game by 40, and my teammates are on the bench, like, not giving a fuck. And he was like, I think that was more like sending a sign to his own team, where it's like, yo guys, I'm gonna fuck you guys up. Like, I know I'm joking around all the time, but I'll turn into the Joker. Was that?
Yeah, for sure. I said I hope they make some changes this coming season.
Oh yeah, I think definitely they have to.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah.
They need a backup for Joker. That's the number one thing. They don't have literally any kind of big man coming off the bench for Joker.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, and maybe some front court backup.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was great. Yeah, we'll wrap it up. I wanted to ask you a question that I was about to ask you last one, and we got cut off because the meeting ended. But I've been sort of in this. I've been questioning the NBA therapists, where we call ourselves the NBA therapists, right? But then I also think, like, the reason we named this channel NBA Therapy is because we find talking about NBA therapeutic. So are we the therapists, or are we the guys in therapy? Or is it both?
We are self-therapists.
Okay, I like that. All right, okay. So it's kind of like I am your therapist and you're my therapist.
Exactly. We just keep bouncing it off each other.
We just keep bouncing it off. It's one bad friend giving advice to another bad friend, blind leading the blind.
All right, let's wrap it up here.
All right, cool. All right, so that was awesome. We'll come back after the conference finals is done, and we'll see how those predictions go. Well, we can't really put any money on this. We'll put some money on the finals, I guess. But I'm pretty sure we're both picking. But I think we're both picking the West, whoever comes out of the West. So I guess it's going to be a mood. Yeah. we'll bet with someone else, I guess. But all right, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. And this was episode 6. We reviewed second round predictions, made some new predictions. We'll see you guys after the conference finals. And hope the Mavs pull it out, and hope the Pacers pull it out, because then I could win. Actually, we'll put a bet on that. But why not, right? That's the only one.
I don't mind putting a bet on that.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll decide the money.
You got Pacers?
Yeah, I got Pacers, and we'll switch. We'll change. We'll talk about the money outside of the show, because we don't want to solicit gambling. All right, but thanks a lot for hanging out with us. Like, share, subscribe. And this is Nilay, your my NBA therapist and your NBA therapist, and I'm Shabz. The same thing I said for Nilay goes from there we go. And all right, guys, thanks for hanging out. Peace out. Peace, Nilay. Good chat. We'll see you guys in a few days.
Yeah, see you guys next time.
Peace. All right. Okay.